Okay, write a multiplicative comparison word problem for 3 times 5. Draw a strip diagram for your problem in part A and explain how this section's definition of multiplication applies to the problem. And then in part C, reword your problem in part A so that it is about the same situation, but you use the fraction 1/3 in the statement of the problem. Okay, so let's first think about the definition of multiplication. So we have the definition of multiplication being A times B equals C, where A is the number of groups, B is the number of units per group, and C is the number of units. If we have a multiplicative comparison problem, then one individual will have B items, for example, and then another individual will have A times as many as person who has B items. Okay, so when we draw this, we will have an amount and we will have to have 3 times that amount for the second individual because those are our numbers. So 3 times that's going to fit our definition of 3 times 5. If we have 5 in each of these groups. Okay, so I'm going to darken this. And we could have used numbers here, right? We used more of a number line looking strip diagram, but we could have also just stuck a 5 inside of the box. Okay, so what we have here is, well, we first have to write a question. Okay, so let's see. Dar has 3 times as much driving time as Eliza. Eliza has 5 hours of driving time. Let's see. Already have run out of space. How much driving time, because you have to remember to actually ask the question, does Dar have? Okay, now that we have individuals that we can put labels onto these strips for, we have an amount for Eliza, which we know is 5 hours. And we have 3 times that for Dar. And as a result, the question for how much drive time does Dar have, that would have been our question mark location. The answer being 3 of these parts, right? 3 groups. And we should label that hours. 3 groups of 5 hours per, for lack of a better word, groups, right? 3 parts of 5 hours per part, 3 compartments of 5 hours per compartment, right? However you want to word that, box, square, right? Strip of the strip diagram, for example. But as a result, we do have 3 times 5, which here we see, especially when we drew it out individually, is 15 hours. And we always have to answer in question answer form. Dar has 15 hours. Okay, now what we have in part C is the challenge of rewording our problem so that it's about the same situation, but you use the fraction 1/3 in the statement of the problem. So we could say that Eliza has 1/3 of the hours that Dar has, and then say the rest of what we have. So let's alter and say Eliza has 1/3 of the driving time that Dar has. That replaces our first sentence. And then everything else is the same. Eliza has 5 hours of driving. How much driving time does Dar have? Same scenario, same drawing, but we're using the fraction 1/3 instead of 3.